back too close, you ain't even know me. Trust my brothers from way back from the north. Whiskey and Dior, spend it like they owe me.
Right guys, so in today's video, I'm basically going to be breaking down a trade that was taken on USDJPY, all the way from the analysis before, whilst I was in the trade, how did I manage it, and then obviously taking the profits. And I'll also, at the end of the video, do a complete breakdown of the trade from start to finish as well, just to recap. We'll jump in the charts and break it all down completely. Now, this trade was taken after a series of losses after last week. After CPI came out, the markets were just moving sideways. They were very choppy towards the end of the week, like Thursday and Friday. So we took around 4 losses last week towards the end. However, this just goes to show that in one trade where I made about +8 risk to reward, goes to show that if you just remain consistent throughout the market, eventually you will make it back. What most people tend to do is, after they go through a losing streak, they will stop trading or they'll quit. And in reality, if you just remain consistent and keep going, trust your strategy over a long period of time, you will see success and you will see profits. I see a lot of people jumping from strategy to strategy after a small amount of losses, when in reality you need to let that strategy run over the course of multiple months, if anything, to see if it works. So that's just a tip. Make sure you guys are doing that. And also, if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any content. But yeah guys, let's go straight into the video. Right guys, so this is a trade taken this morning on USDJPY on the 5-minute time frame. Really simple stuff. If I actually show you the daily, how much price is pumping right now on a daily time frame, you can see USDJPY is just massively bullish right now, taking advantage of buy positions. The probability is definitely going to be in your favor to take these buy positions. We made some highs that we haven't been at since I believe around 1980. We're like constantly pressing through the highs right now. Go down to the lower time frames, you can see strong impulses just continuously breaking through the highs. The actual analysis for today was really simple on the lower time frames, such as the 15-minute time frame. If I just zoom in here, we can see how price formed this level of resistance here in the market. If I just highlight this bit, copy that, we had this level of resistance which most people would be looking to sell at. Then we had a strong level which was broken with a strong impulse move to the upside. We've now pulled back, retested the 61.8, which is also lined up with this area of resistance, used it as a level of support. Not only that, but if you look at the way we've pulled back, it's been very corrective, okay? Strong impulse breaking through, a correction to the downside, building up liquidity, entry taken at this shift in momentum. As we can see, the candles starting to increase, showing the momentum from buyers looking to step into the market. Entered the market here, stops below the 61.8, which is also the most recent low point, and now we are continuing to move to the upside. We'll be looking to trail stops to break even soon to protect capital, and then as we begin to form market structure, as price begins to form structure like this, I will just be trailing my stops below the lows. I don't actually have a TP on this because price is just pumping. There's no real levels to target to the left. So with this one, we'll just be trailing stops with price action, trying to maximize on the profit as much as possible. But yeah, that's the start, and we'll update you guys on how it goes.
I got the swag, proud of them. Shorty having drip, proud of them. Put it on the jet, out of here. 2024, our year. Call paramedics, I'm killing them. Stepping on their necks, I'm milling him.
Right guys, so as you saw, USDJPY is nicely in profits, as you can see there. So I've got my levels set, my trailing stop loss just below structure. There's no need for me to be on the chart, so I'm going to go to the gym. Obviously still be observing it just in case I want to close out in profits if price moves massively to the upside. But apart from that, just going to let the trade run, head to the gym, head to the spa, and then we'll pick up from there where price is.
Fall back too close, you ain't even know me. Trust my brothers from way back from the north. Whiskey and Dior, spend it like they owe me.
And this right here, guys, is exactly why we look to close profits. That's exactly where I got out of the market. Okay, yes, price pushed a little bit higher, but then look what happened to news. That's exactly why we want to get out just before news. Crazy stuff right there. That's exactly why we do it. So I thought I'd show you guys my live Funding Pips account where I managed to generate over 5% on the account, and today is my payout day. So with the 80% payout percentage, I'm going to be withdrawing 4.2k, which is great. Some of that will be reinvested back into purchasing more challenges, and some of it will also be to just spend and enjoy, because at the end of the day, that's what we're doing it for, right? We're doing it so we're able to do things in life. So some of that will go towards spending as well. But yeah, just so I can show you guys, you're going to see a lot more funded account payouts, challenge passes in future videos, but just thought I'd show you guys to maybe motivate some of you who are watching this. So now we're on USDJPY the next day after the trade has been closed. I'll put a screenshot of the profit that was generated on the account, as well as many members who were also able to take the same position. And then obviously I'll also screenshot where I sent it into the chat as well, into the VIP group, which you can join by clicking the link in the description. So as I said at the start of the video, it's really simple analysis behind this trade. USDJPY on the higher time frames, if you look at it, it's just been massively bullish for a while now. So taking advantage of buy positions, the probability is in your favor for a higher win rate when you are going for buy positions. But more specifically on the 5-minute time frame where we was taking a position, we wanted to get a view of market structure, see what was happening more zoomed in on the 5-minute time frame, because this is where I like to take my positions. So the first thing we can notice is how price formed this level of resistance. Okay, we have this level here on the left and this level here. This created a resistance level where most people in the industry would be looking to sell, but obviously most people in the industry aren't making money. So for me, I had an understanding that this level was going to be broken, and hence why we had this strong impulse move to the upside, breaking this level of resistance. When price broke this level of resistance, this was my confirmation that I needed to begin looking for buy positions. Now, what needed to happen following this impulse was a correction to the downside, because as we know, guys, the way I look to trade is if price impulses to the upside, I need to see a bearish correction, which tells me that sellers aren't really active in the market, and then buyers are going to look to take that continuation. So that's what I look for. Price has now pulled back correctively. We can tell by the candlestick patterns. Notice how I didn't enter, for example, here on my screen where I've got it highlighted, because look how impulsively we first began to push down. The first bullish candle we saw, we don't want to be entering off that. We want to see price correct, which is exactly what happened. Look at the candle, they start to slow down in momentum. Doji candlesticks start to form, showing indecision within the market, which is a real turning point for us to see if buyers can step in, and then we can take our position. As well, using our Fibonacci retracement tool, we can see how price has pulled back to the 61.8, a very valuable level in the Fibonacci sequence that we look for price to pull back to. So from there, as soon as I saw price pull back to that level, followed by a switch in momentum with buyers stepping into the market, that's when I initiated my first position. Okay, we'll play out price, see what happens next, and then we'll go from there. So play it out. Okay, so we get a nice impulse move to the upside. At this point, I've trailed my stop loss to break even. As mentioned at the start, I like to trail my stops when price is going in my favor, because the last thing I want to happen personally is when I'm in profit, the last thing I want to happen is for that to turn into a loss. Once you're in profit, you need to make a decision. Do you want to see that trade turn into a loss? At which point are you not happy with that turning into a loss? So for me, after this impulse, my stops were trailed to break even, so technically the trade was running risk-free. Then we can see how price began to form structure. When price is moving to the upside, it's not just going to go in one direction, like just straight up. It's going to obviously form structure like this, where price will form higher highs and higher lows. So rather than just setting and forgetting about the trade, I always monitor it without emotions, of course. I always monitor the trade to see if I can maximize on my winning positions by potentially scaling into a second or potentially third position along the way, because it's a really good way of scaling into more trades, whilst also limiting the loss. And I'll show you what I mean. So let's see what happens. So price pulls down. At this point, I've entered a second position because structures formed. We're starting to show wicks to the downside, which shows that price is going to continue moving higher. So I entered a scaling position, but when I entered a scaling position, I also trailed my stop loss on my first initial trade to a 1-to-1, meaning if the scaling position I entered does go to stop loss, I would get out of my first position. So the scaling would be a -1 and the first initial trade would be a +1, which means overall would be a break-even trade. So I've limited my losses completely, but I'm maximizing on my potential returns. So I've scaled in there, and bear in mind, guys, I didn't have a take profit on any of these trades. Reason being is because there's nowhere to really target. Price is the highest it's been since like 1990. So there's nowhere for us really to target. So in this instance, I will just be trailing my stop loss with price action. And then when price decides to reverse, I will just get out of the market. But anyway, let's continue with price action, see what happens. So at this point, as price is beginning to approach this level of resistance here, when price approaches that level there, I have moved the scaling position stop loss to break even as well. So I've got both positions now running risk-free and they're running in nice profits. Let's continue price action and see what happens. We then break through this level of resistance. And then what I'm doing now is I'm trading my stop loss below these lows. I'm trading it up with price action. Let's see what happens again. Let me zoom this out for you guys so you can see. So now price has formed a double top, okay? We might be showing some kind of resistance within the market where sellers might have a reasoning to enter sells and drive price down. So what I've done is I've trailed stops to just below this level of resistance, okay? Just this level of resistance. I've moved my stop loss there in case price was to reverse. Let's see what happens next. Price dips lower. So at this point, I'm out of the market, okay? I've banked my +8 risk to reward combined. I think if I move this down to like here is where I got out of the market. This is a +3, this is a +5, so like a +8 risk to reward overall. Obviously then price continues to go into profit at this point. I don't mind, you know, I've taken my profits for the day. Price can do whatever it wants. I'm leaving the charts now and then we'll come back. But as you can see, if I play out price, what happens? News comes out, straight down, would have taken me out completely, probably slipped through my stop loss. And that is exactly why, like I mentioned in the video, we look to trail our stop losses or even get out of profit before news events, because anything can happen. Yes, of course, this could have gone the other way, but at that point, it is just a gamble. You are best off taking your profits, especially if you're running in that amount of profit. It's the best thing to do. But anyway, guys, that is a complete breakdown of USDJPY, why I took the trade, the scaling positions, how I maximized on my profits, etc. But I hope that was helpful. That's the end of the video. Make sure you subscribe. And if you want to join a VIP group where I go live multiple times a week and send in my trades every single day, be sure to hit the link in the description. But anyway, guys, take care and I will see you in the next video.